Hello. We seem to have lost Jen. We've got Sharron. I think you're still muted. Let me just... Oh, sorry, I must have muted you. Right, are we working now? Can you hear me okay?
Still on a bit of a delay, but I can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think I just checked it on the telly and there is a bit of a delay. I think it's probably just one of those random internet things. I'm probably not going to figure it out tonight, but we're here and we're fine. Yeah, I've been going through my edits. I ended up doing a load of admin things as well. So I've just got stuck into the edits in the last 10-15 minutes. But, oh yeah, Jen's gone completely. So I don't know whether she's having a problem. She did say she had to go. It might just be that she's had to go as well. So yeah, so I've started the edits, but I've only skimmed the surface. I'm looking forward to properly digging in the next one. How about you? How's the reading going?
It's such a good book. It's I'm reading this one. I don't know if people saw before because I was like weird and out of sync. It's really unsettling. Really unsettling. The whole atmosphere, and there's actually nothing happening really. I mean, she's just started throwing up flies, which is a bit weird. And there's this creepy woman stalking her, who's obviously not, actually a person, but the atmosphere is like very normal. It's like these kids playing, on a waterfall, and dinner with the mom and dad who are very, very religious, but it's not. It's completely normal, and yet it's really quite eerie and unsettling. So,
What year is it set in the present day?
I think so. I mean, kind of gay conversion camps are fairly new things, aren't they? I think.
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know much about it.
So Chuck Tingle is LGBTQ himself, and I think is based on what he knows about it. It's a big thing in America, obviously, and but there's just this very eerie, unsettling mood to the writing. I can't really explain how he's doing it. Even it's very, very clever.
Have you read any other Chuck Tingle books? Because I feel like
No.
it's a name that I see across the horror-tube community, for other things, but I've not read any either, I don't think.
I think I haven't. This is the first one, and yeah, I'm very impressed with his writing. He's actually neurodivergent as well, like I am. He's autistic. So there was a note in with this. It came with the book, which is written in a style that I understand completely, but if you're not neurodivergent, would make no sense. And but his writing is traditional, but he just has this really uncanny way of setting a mood that is within it like a chapter, and that's quite rare. I found generally in horror, certainly. I'm going to sit back because I'm tired.
I'll go for it.
My husband's bought me a new table.
Is it adult horror or YA?
Yes. No, it's adult. Yeah. It's definitely no. This is no. But it's not extreme. It's not extreme yet, but it is incredibly creepy and unsettling. It's haunting, really. Just the story, and it hasn't even started properly yet. I'm only 50, 60 pages in.
I think the subject matter sounds like it's quite hard-hitting as well, so I think if it was YA, it would have to be dealt with really carefully.
It's a nightmarish vision of what actual people experience. Yeah. Do you know, if this is what people actually, and it hasn't even got into that yet, it's only just started, but just the way people are speaking in a very kind of, oh, I'm a nice person, but do you know, I love everyone, but only. Yeah. Do you know, it's kind of very, very, it's very creepy. It's quite a terrifying vision. So it's definitely adult, but I don't think it's extreme, but I'll let you know.
Okay. I feel like it could be at some point, especially because of this kind of split between, obviously there are the kind of people who are attending the camp, and then there are people running the camp, and I'm assuming
that it hasn't got there yet. You're still on the outskirts of the camp in the town, which is a Christian town, dealing with this girl called Rose, who is just thrown up a load of flies in her pasta. It's very funny. And her mom and dad are trying to marry her off, and they're very deeply religious to this strange pastor, who's kind of almost cultic. It hasn't got to that camp yet. You've just seen the advert for it. So 100% success rate seems to me that the people who don't actually complete it die. That was how I would see it.
Yeah,
get
that's
killed.
horrifying.
So, but yeah, I like his writing a lot. So I always love finding new people. It's great, isn't it? So, how are
Yeah,
you
and
getting on with your edits?
yeah, I mean, like I said, I've just touched the skim the surface of it, but I think it's doable. It seems like the structure of it is fairly sound, but it's that old story of it's gone through a couple of rounds of edits, so it's like tightening up scenes that don't fully move the plot forward. And is it really clear why this character is doing this thing? Because honestly, I know in my head why the character's doing it.
Yeah.
And my editor's pointed out as well that because it's a sequel, it's like places where I could remind the reader who this character is. So far, it doesn't look like it's going to be too big a job, which is good because I don't have that long to do it.
So are these your final edits or not? I don't know how many
Sort
edits
of
you have.
So we do a structural edit. So this is technically the structural edit, although I've already done quite a bit of that myself. And then Ren kind of delves into other things as well that they notice as they go through. And then it will go through a line edit and proofread with a different person later in the year. And then once everything's pretty much not fully set, because I could still make a few edits and I will, it will get typeset then, and then I can edit that version. So there's lots of opportunities to kind of come back to it. But this is the point where I need, if anything big needs to change, it has to be now before the typeset it. Because I do tinker with stuff. Like I'm sure they, when they see my edits on the typesets, they're like, oh no, because you see it typeset, and I don't know about you, but when I see something presented in a different way, I notice different
You
things.
notice
It's like, oh,
things.
that word just pops out. That word's 5 times over 2 pages. I need to cut some of those out and stuff like that. You can't notice on Word until you see it in the book. You think, oh, 3 chapters in a row start with the same phrase or something like that until you see it.
Yeah,
Designed
it's
up.
formatting, isn't it? Different formatting just pulls different things out, don't they?
Yeah.
I deal a lot with indie authors, as you know,
Mm.
and because they're my babies. I love my indie authors, and self-publish, and so they don't have the same amount of time, really.
Yes.
So they're reliant on people like me who beta read and proofread and edit, because I used to be an
Yes.
editor back in the day,
Just
and to check it out. Hello again.
Sorry to just pop in and out. I froze, but carry on, Sharron. I was listening in.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't want to add you in the middle of Sharron talking, but I also didn't want you to sit there thinking she's not noticed me.
It's okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
So it's nice that you've it's not, and often if I get something, I will reformat it into a different typeset, so that because you can see things differently, and then send it back for them and say, and put the notes on and stuff. But I mean, you're with a proper publisher, so you get done properly, don't you? So it's nice to have that.
It does feel nice, and I think being with Scholastic as well, I've seen like a different way of doing it again, because that's an even bigger team and like more rounds of checks and more people involved with the edit. So that was interesting as well, getting different perspectives. But because they were short stories, the edits were a bit different. They weren't like you need this massive structural overhaul like you might get in a novel, because the story's so short, it generally won't have those problems. And with the caliber of authors that we had as well, everybody's sort of pre-experienced. A lot of the time there wasn't a lot of edits, so
I'm very impressed with Scholastic. They've got some great authors in their stable now, haven't they? So I mean, you flashed up 12 bones. Mine's coming tomorrow. I just got notification. I've got the Waterstones edition.
Yeah,
it's arriving tomorrow. So I think that's it. I feel that's early because I'm not sure it's not out to the 13th.
Yeah, I think, is it a week today? Is that right?
Yeah, well, I've had a thing from Waterstones to say it's arriving tomorrow.
Yeah, a lot of books have been arriving early. I got Kendara Blake's latest 2 weeks early. Gabriel Dillon's Shiver Point came nearly 2 weeks early as well. So I don't know whether there's some issues with supply, so in stock and stuff, so they're sending them out early. But I'm not mad about it. I just know that for authors, I think it can affect, if they're going for bestseller, it can affect their like week 1 sales if stuff arrives early. But you can't help it as a reader. It's just.
No, I've reread 16 Souls last night, so to ready for it. Like I'll read both the Mina books before yours comes out next year. So just to refresh you of the. I remember most things I read, but you just want to refresh not the characters, because I remember those, but the actual events. So I think that, I'm looking forward to 12 Bones,
Yes.
Charlie and Sam. And sorry, I'm talking too much. I apologize. Did Rosie send you this short story, Amy?
No, not yet. So
it's fabulous. It's so good. It was so lovely to go back into their world just for a short period. It's like a house party in between the two books. It's really good fun. So,
yeah, I'll have to ask her for it. I keep forgetting. But yeah, I didn't reread 16 Souls. That is the only problem. And I read it quite early because I read like an early PDF of it when she was getting author quotes. So I think it must have been probably spring last year when it came out.
They can be read. I think Rosie's done an Instagram post today to say they can be read as standalone. So you can read 16 Souls and 12 Bones separately. They're not like a follow-on.
Yeah.
It's just the same characters, I suppose. So hopefully you'll be able to pick it. I just tend to do that because, you know, I'm crazy.
I mean, if you've got the time to do it, my problem is like I've not read it all this month yet. I'm conscious that we're nearly a week into October and I've read, 50 pages of Rosie's book, and it's a book that my bookmark's fallen out, so that's another problem. I don't know how many pages I've read. I've got a little person in my house. Nathan loves it. When he sees one of my bookmarks, he's like, "Oh, Mummy, what bookmark is that?"
Oh, bless
him.
It
out, and then I'm like, "Oh, darling, that's the page that was on."
This is my bookmark today.
That's excellent.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I work and I read, and that's it. I've already read 8 books already this month. But that I don't go out because I can't. So that's my whole life. Sad though that is, but yeah.
I mean, I think we can all enjoy the different stuff. I lament my lack of time to relax and kind of.
I remember those days. I remember when my stepkids were that age, and yeah, you don't have any time. You just don't, because they take up your whole life, and they didn't live with us full time. But even then, you're planning what you're going to do the next weekend all the time. So it's it's different stages of life, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And the thing is, you kind of I think you just have to love and be at peace with the one that you're in, like whatever's happening, like the ups and downs of it. And it
doesn't matter, if you read 1 or you read 50, it doesn't matter as long as you enjoy them, as long as you have a great time. Doesn't matter. It's not a competition. No. Reading should be a joy, should never be a pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nice to just be with a hobby that you're loving,
Absolutely.
Not a numbers game at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. So how did you get on, Jen? I know you had some slight tech on and off at the end. How did the sprint go for you?
Yeah, sorry about that. But generally I got quite a few.
We've all been there today, love.
I think we're all
just waiting for mine. What's my tech issue going to be?
No. There's 3 of us and things come in 3s, so
yeah, I know.
Oh no. But no, I had a good time. I got a couple of pages read and very enjoyable, interesting plot progression. It's nice to see more of the characters like engaging with each other in different settings.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but every time you say anything, it's a euphemism now. It's like engaging with each other. Is that what you're calling it?
Is it engaging?
Yeah,
it's not. It's not. It's a dinner. It's just a dinner. I swear.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you say.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness.
It was when you first turned your camera off. I was like, oh, she's got that.
I knew it. I'm gonna live this down. How awful.
That's why I don't read that stuff, Lovey. No.
So is this one a standalone or is it part? Because did she write the From Blood and Ash? Is that the same one?
Yeah, she did that too. I haven't read those either, but I think this might be the part of another trilogy potentially.
Okay.
I know she does like a series, like her trilogies at least, but I don't know what the series is called. So I think there's like wiggle room. Fall of Ruin and Wrath.
That's hard to say.
Pretty cover.
Does
it
is.
Does
it have any kind of creatures in it? Like, are we talking fae or vampires or anything? Or
well, that's the thing. I don't know if they're like fae. So there's these beings which are like higher lord things, and they're like the royalty aspect, and they have all these powers and things like that. But they seem like a mix between fae and like energy vampires because they feed from pleasure. In any form, it can be like sexual, or it can be food, like simple enjoyment, So they feed from. Honestly, same. They feed from who they call the lowborn, so the mortals, all of that. So I don't know if it's because their features, how they're described, and their strength and speed, is vampire-y / like Sarah J. Maas Faye, So, but they haven't distinguished exactly. They called them Demi-years. I don't know if that's like made up for this world or actually has.
There is a vampire There's a vampire thing in Vampire Academy, I think it is, which is based on like vampire myth, called a Dhampir. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Dhampir.
Dhampir. So it sounds a little bit like that. I think
Similar.
they're half mortal, half vampire. And it sounds like a similar word. So I'm wondering.
Oh, maybe there's some inspiration from there, potentially.
Possibly.
I mean, it's fun. Like, it's not not knowing exactly like what they are isn't hindering my enjoyment. I'm just like, oh, I wonder what else they can do, or I wonder what they can't do. What's their kryptonite? You know, that sort of thing. But at the minute, it's more like they're like royal blood sort of thing, and they have like the power of the armies, the power of the wealth, all that sort of thing. But it's interesting. I'm enjoying it.
Good. I think that'll maybe be part of the journey. It sounds like you'll get to find out a little bit about like what is the cost of this great power that they have.
Yeah, definitely.
And let me know if they're vampires, because instant interest if they are.
Okay. I'll let you know.
We love a bit of blood sucking.
Oh yes.
Yeah, no, that's it. As soon as I hear vampire, I'm like sold. Oh, that one's coming up, The Witch of the Pendle. I don't know much about it, but I do love a good witch.
I think that's the one written by the woman who does Most Haunted, isn't it?
Oh, is it the?
Do you know? Is it that one, Stephen? What's her name?
Is it Yvonne something?
Yvonne somebody. Is it? Oh, what's her name? Oh,
you both just said Yvonne.
She was on Blue Peter, wasn't she? Years ago. I mean, I'm aging myself now.
Yvette Fielding.
Yvette Fielding. I think it's the one written by her. Let us know, Stephen. Sorry, interrupted.
Okay.
Shut up now.
We've got that even in the end. I think, that sounds right to me. Hi, Ellie.
Hi, Ellie.
Hi, don't worry, there's no late here. Everybody just come whenever you're ready. Don't worry, I didn't do a proper post about this. Literally said we were live. Hooray! Oh my goodness, that's great. Thank you for reading it in a day.
Amazing.
I read it in a day, to be fair, and I loved it. There wasn't unlike any other anthology I've read, because anthology's lots of different authors, isn't it, as opposed to compilation. It's the first time I've ever read one, honestly, Amy, this is true, not just because you're here, where there wasn't a bad story. Every story was good, and every story was completely different. It really was snippets of people's brain. It was absolutely fabulous. Well done. I really loved it.
I feel like people really showcased what they do in it. Like mine is weird and set in a different time period.
I wanted to live in the house. I would have loved that.
Yeah. To be fair, I mean, even it's obviously you go into the story, you find a bit more about the house, but even the downsides of living there, it's probably worth it.
I mean, it seemed lovely, to be fair. I'd live there. Do you know what I mean? But there was everything in there. It was one of the best horror anthologies I've read in a long time.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, because it was just, there wasn't a bad story, because there's usually at least one where you're like, meh. It wasn't one bad one. They were all unique, completely unique. Excellent.
What I really like, thank you. I really like the fact that people are tagging me as well, and people seem to be like different stories are resonating with them. Like,
absolutely.
Literally every post seems to be a different person's story that they say is their favorite one, and I really like that. That's kind of the point of it, that it's pulling people to horror who don't normally read it. It's giving people different authors. And we put Rosie's story first because it's so representative of Rosie's writing, and I feel like it kind of sets the anthology off on a real
beautifully gothic, just like she is, and beautiful. And it is. And I've read a lot of those authors. A couple of them I hadn't, but the ones I've read, it was so in their voice. Do you know what I mean? This is like a perfect example of how these writers write, the beauty of their writing. You know what I mean? It was really. I'll shut up.
No, it's fine.
I should be a promoter.
I was just going to say, let's run an advert here. Come on, I'm ready. I'm sold. I was going to get it anyway, but now I'm even more eager.
And the thing about it is, it's not just for October. That is perfect reading for winter. It's a proper winter kind of firelight, kind of creepy tales. It's just, it's excellent. I'll be reading it again later in the year.
Thank you. It's so weird being part of the book community. It could be super awkward if somebody didn't like something I'd read, but I want people to be honest, or like, if you don't feel comfortable, just don't say it, is the other thing. But I love hearing positive things. It's so nice to like just think about, this is the thing I had the idea. I think like maybe, oh gosh, I found the message from me and Mia, and it was like a couple of years ago probably now, and literally last October it went out submission on Halloween, and the first day we got an offer.
Almost a year.
That's impressive.
It's been less than a year. So we got an offer the first day it went out, and then another publisher. So the first publisher wasn't Scholastic. Scholastic then like counter offered, and that's the one we went with. So it does seem to have been like, it was really slow in that like Mia and I took a while to like choose the authors, get pictures from everybody, because that takes time to like rally everyone, get all the agents on board and everybody agrees and knows what we're doing. So that's the bit that took ages, and since then it's been like
I love the end as well. These little snapshots they were really quite funny. Those little snapshots at the end of everybody's like little biography about them. I thought that was a really lovely touch. You don't get that a lot in anthologies.
Yeah, that was Yaz's idea, which she had the space. I think that wasn't originally there, and she said, "We've got a couple of pages. What do you think? Can we do this? Can we put a little fear from everybody?"
It was funny.
It was really hard because I'm not really scared of that much that's cool or sexy. Everybody else was like quite fun things, and I was like, you don't want to hear what I'm scared of. It's really miserable things like I'm scared of getting ill, or I'm scared of like that kind of thing. Like I don't like, I'm not really scared of heights that much, or
I'm not scared of
clowns or so it was hard for me, and I was like, yeah, actually I don't like injections. That's what I went with, but it didn't sound like really don't like that.
If you don't like something, don't talk about it. That's what I said. That's the way I feel about it. And it's just like, I only ever tag authors into my reviews if it's a good review. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. Definitely. I just don't think they want to know, and some authors don't want to know, and I don't tag them. So it's like, they don't need to know. Reviews are for readers, not for authors. And
completely agree. Yeah, I don't think of myself as an author when I'm reviewing. I think of myself as a reader, and I just like separate that off, and I try and be honest, also in a kind of positive way. Like
you can be constructive about stuff, can't you? I think it's like, and it's all subjective. Do you know what? I don't like romantasy. Can't stand it. It's not my kind of stuff. We tried that Sun in the Void, didn't we, Jen?
Yeah.
I've lasted 100 pages before I was like, no, I've given it away. And I had a beautiful Illumicrate edition, but I just don't. It's not for me. But other people love it, and a lot of the stuff I read, I wouldn't expect people to like. It's all subjective.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean anybody's wrong, does it?
No,
it's just
absolutely not.
I read bits of all of it, mostly more your side, Sharron, but I dip into your side as well, Jen.
Yes, I love that. I love that book. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's long though, isn't it? Like, would I like it? Is it worth the length? Should I dive into this at some point?
Are we back onto Jen's book now, talking about length?
Oh, sorry, I'm back on accidents.
Be careful now. So,
I'm going to end up saying some like real.
This is live, remember, ladies.
It's fine. I'm in my mid-50s. What do I care? It is a very long book, but it is a good book. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
What is this about? The Book of Accidents. What is it about?
I don't know.
Oh. Because I feel like I recognise the title, but I can't visualise.
Yes, I could probably find it. I can't think off the top of my head. Put me on the spot. But I'll find out for you. It's
Chuck Wendig, isn't it?
It's Chuck Wendig.
Yeah, but I don't know anything about it.
It's a horror.
Okay. The reason I bought it is he and his friend, who I think is also an author, went viral having a little conversation, and I don't remember which way around it started, but one of them went, hey, I think I've done something really bad. And he's like, oh, what's up? Let me help you. And he's like, I think I've killed somebody. I'm covered in blood and I don't remember what happened. And they had this whole fake conversation. And it was like, well, why do you think you? And he's like, look around for knives. Are there any knives? Yeah, there's a knife. This is bad. If you can find the thread, it's probably been deleted by certain people.
It's funny as hell. It's really funny. Yeah, it's a horror. It's a very long horror. And the thing about it is the horror usually isn't. It's rare that you get a big horror. They're usually a couple of 100 pages long. Yeah. So to have a big one, it is kind of daunting, I think. I love a big chunky horror, but a lot of horror readers don't.
Yeah, it's ironic. I bought it off the back of a funny tweet, and then I was like, from one tweet, I've put this massive book.
Yeah, you can use it as a weapon, though, Amy, so think about positives.
This is true. Honestly, the amount of characters in my books, I have to edit it out, but they're always looking for weapons. And because I always have books around, they're always books. Mina's like, oh my God, there might be a vampire. Quick, a book.
Oh my god!
I mean, we've got ready weapons all around us, haven't we?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Paper cuts too. Paper cuts are not to be sniffed at. Like
They hurt.
You can kill people with paper
Really
cuts. Yeah, you could. You could kill people with paper cuts if you cut them the right way.
I think you could.
Oh my god!
We're really
Sharron, I feel like you've thought about this a lot.
That's why I keep one stiletto shoe by my bed. All my rest of my stilettos have been thrown out. I keep one just in case somebody breaks in.
Stiletto.
Yeah, because I tell you, that's a hell of a weapon.
Oh my god!
That's terrifying, Sharron. I feel like Kasha would appreciate that. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Kasha. Thank you. Oh, Vix has read it.
Did you read it, Vix? Oh, I'm really isn't it creepy? Oh man. It's
Sharron, where are you from?
I know Oz. I'm actually from a little place called Wordsley, which is about 4 miles from Dudley. So yeah, we are yams. So lovely, nice to meet you, Oz. Yeah, I live in Devon now, though. But
Found you.
Why are you upside down on that, Jen?
Okay, so
it's my
that's
thing.
a little history of conversion therapy. That's
terrifying.
Oh, God.
I did read the letter. That's why I said I was holding it up. I love the letter. Bless. Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, mine too.
Going out into the world. Yes, I do need to. I keep seeing all these.
I need to look at that.
Thinking, I haven't joined in. I did it last year. Ooh.
What?
What? I mean,
no.
That's great. What title?
Okay.
Well, I mean,
I don't even know what to say about that. Like,
it's a very specific fetish. That
is that going to be brilliant, or is it going to be terrible? Is it going to be the best thing you've ever read, or just
It's going to be funny, though, isn't it? I mean, that's going to be funny, isn't it?
Get my hands on
that.
that.
That is a good bookmark.
Oh dear.
Oh yes, I need to read them. Oh yeah, everybody's jumping in with the Yvette Fieldings. Thank you. I'm glad you all know. I'm like going, Yvonne.
And I'm like, Blue Peter, and everybody's like, who? He was Blue Peter in the 80s. None of you remember this.
I got it all wrong. You get another hello.
Hi, Ellie.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. That's really kind. Yeah, I mean, it's got a graveyard on the site, so I feel like that's a good selling point.
Yes, I've given up on my TBR, mate. No, I've realised I'm going to die before I read everything I own, and I'm just going to come back and haunt the house and read.
Oh yeah.
Can I just send this to Scholastic, please, and thank you?
Yes, Scholastic. We need one every year.
God.
Every year, Taste of
Darkness when I need them. Yeah, I would love that. I'd love to do another anthology. I'm putting that out into the universe. Ooh. I would love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yes, the new Buffy story. Whether to be excited or I am excited, but I'm always nervous when it's new Buffy stuff.
It's James, though, isn't it?
Pillow. We need context and information about that.
Better than something about a pillow.
I mean, I did watch a live stream once where Beth Bucksnest and Gav, How to Train Your Gavin, were trying to guess the title of Mina 3 on a live stream, which was great fun. I don't know how I ended up watching them doing this, but they were Gav was pulling books off his shelf and like trying to put them into Mina. And one of his books was called The Perfect Poo.
Mina and the Poo. Mina and the Perfect Poo.
Yeah, like Mina is it Mina and the Perfect Poo? But I was like, of all the book titles that people have just said, like that one still sticks in my mind.
Oh my God.
It literally was just an extended book about that, like a woman. I'm not going to say again, but a woman having that.
That's like something Nathan would come up with.
I'm sorry, but Kasia nailed it. A Taste for Blood.
A Taste for Blood. Mm-hmm. Oh yes, yes. Okay. And it can be read. The cover can be read. Oh, I've already got the cover in my head now. I've got it's visual.
It's coming to me.
I'm just gonna like screenshot this bit and say, Scholastic, look, the cover and the title and all the authors that are going to be in it.
We're all going to buy it.
Okay, so what about a pillow? It's
called Stuffed.
No, I've heard everything. We've gone from the vampires to the poo.
Oh my God.
I mean,
it's amazing and awful in so many ways.
we probably should go to a sprint.
And I'll just check out that.
I think it's time.
I'm going to put 5 minutes timer on. You'll see on the other side.
I need a cup of tea. I need a cup of tea and a lie down here.
Yeah.
Get the fan out. Get the fan out.
Oh, makes a refreshing change that I actually noticed that the kitty was going to be out when I was ready. Normally I like throwing my laptop at the floor and trying to be ready on time. That was good. I'm like buzzing going through my comments. I'm not really doing any edits so much as reading, because she like gives me a letter like of all the stuff that's going to be included, and then on the document as well there's loads of comments. I'm just going through the document ones and like, oh, I see what you mean here, and like, and some of them I'm frowning because I'm like, you're right, and this is going to be hard, but I'm going to do it. Yeah, it's the age old, like any writer who gets their edits, like you go through lots of emotions because you're like, oh, I know that I'm going to have to do this, and it's some of it's going to be really tricky, but yeah, it's good. I feel quite like, yeah, I'm buzzing about trying to do it all.
Is it killing people off? Are they asking you to kill people off?
It's like delving into characters' motivation seems to be a thing that I get at this edits, because it's like, I know it, but is it clear to the reader? And sometimes it's interesting, like if my agent said something and my editor said something, I'm like, maybe they've got a point, and I haven't actually put on the page what needs to be there. That's generally my problem at this point. I think the plot's pretty good, and in this one I actually know who done it too, because I changed it quite late on in the process and had to go back and see it again. Like,
that's the clever thing about it, isn't it? You've got to try and make people see what's in your head or in the character's head. Do you know what I mean? Like, me and my husband loved Doctor Who. We even had the theme when we got married. We walked out to the theme. But is the Doctor has a companion for that exact reason, because she asks, or they will ask the questions. Everybody's like, what is he talking about? So explaining that is actually quite hard to do, isn't it, in a novel?
Yeah, without overloading the reader with it as well.
Yeah, too much information.
You don't want to read, and also you don't want to read too much information, and repetitions. There's sort of a sweet spot of repetition where you say it enough times to remind the reader. But I don't know whether you two I've ever read books before, and you're like, oh, they've told me this. Let's just get on with it now. I know this. and it bugs me as a reader. So I try as an author to think, have I said this enough times that you remember who this person is and what they're trying to do, without me really saying, like Twilight would be the example. I love Twilight, but she does tell us a lot of times how beautiful Edward is, and a lot of times like how doomed their relationship is, and a lot of times how he's a vegetarian vampire, and you know. So I think sometimes it's like
vegetarian vampire.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't bother some readers, obviously, because often these books are really popular, but I just like to reflect on like weight of information and how often to say stuff. So that's what this is all about. What are you two getting up to? Have you both carried on reading the same books? How about you, Jem?
Yeah, I've just carried on with Fall of Ruin and Wrath, and I had my screen off. That's noticed. Oh, did you? I thought I was being slick there. Yeah, it's really good. It's really entertaining, and that's what I need at the minute. Just some light-hearted fun, you know. So yeah, I'm enjoying it.
That sounds awesome. How about you, Sharron?
Yeah, it's very, very good. It's very good. Anything I'll say is a spoiler, so I'm not going to say anything. Okay. But it is, it's twisted now. So it's kind of gone in a different direction than I expected, which is nice when that happens, because I didn't expect it. It's excellent. I'm about halfway through now, so I'll probably carry on reading. And but also, do you know, I remember I asked you quite a while ago about graphic novels. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And so and you both recommended Junji Ito, however it's said. Yeah. And the ones I really want are very expensive, so I've asked my husband for those for Christmas. But I've had my first 3 arrive today that I've got in a sale.
Yeah.
I've got this one.
Oh yeah, I love Preacher.
Yeah, so do I love the TV show, so I'm looking forward to that.
Amazing.
And then
you'll like that.
Was recommended from
my
Books of Horror group on Facebook recommended this.
Yeah.
And then this one.
Oh, I just read that one.
Have you? Is it good?
That. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it.
So I've bought ones that I thought if I don't like them, my husband will. So it's not a waste, because I've never read graphics. Like, I've given up a bit on Audibles because I just can't do it. Look, some people love it, don't they? And I've got masses of credits. I've cancelled my Audible now because I just can't. I can't do it. It's not fast enough. Even at 3 speed, it's not fast enough for me. I'll read quicker than that. And so I'm like, get on with it. And I can't. All I do is work and read. So I can't really listen when I'm working because I can't concentrate and do all the accounts. And I can't sit, otherwise I fall asleep. So it's not working for me.
No.
I want to watch the all cast one with James. I love the all cast ones. It's just when it's somebody just reading at me, it's just not for me.
Doesn't work
and
for you.
It just doesn't work for me. So I'm hoping the graphics do, because I've never really read graphic novels, but the artwork in there is stunning.
Right. It feels a bit, it's more like watching a film, I think. With the graphic novel, I find it makes it really visual, like hearing the voices in your head and stuff like that. I do find that with Audible, if it's a book that isn't super exciting and fast-paced, I stop listening. And I'm listening to The Vampires of El Norte at the minute, and I think it's a really good book. But the audio, I kind of am wishing I read the book, because there's some quieter bits in it, or bits that are historical. They're still action-packed, but they're very like deeply historical. And I lose it for a moment. So
it just feels like you're being lectured at, doesn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, I think
the narrator makes such a difference.
Yeah,
I mean, I've listened to some full cast ones that were absolutely fantastic. I know the Harry Potter ones I loved because I love Stephen Fry. The narrator makes all the difference. And I think I've just had a few where the narrator's just so bad. For me, I just I don't want to listen to them. So, but yeah, I mean, when I read, I see a movie in my head. So I'm hoping that the graphic novels I'll already be there, so I haven't really got to imagine it. But it's going to be a weird thing, isn't it? Am I going to be imagining something different that's on the picture? That's a bit weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It will be interesting. Hi, Paula. So I'm just
Hi, Paula.
Now. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So far, yeah. I love that book. Have you read that, Amy? Oh, I'm actually no. You probably should read it. No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm intrigued by the title, but based on what you've just said, I'm going to not ask you what
it's a fantastic book that's got vampires in it. I mean, but really horrific vampires. But there is a child in it, so I know you don't like reading things with children in it. Now, it's all very gory and dystopian. So, but it's absolutely fantastic. One of my top reads of this year. That is.
Wow. I didn't know it had vampires in it. I didn't really know what it was about, to be honest. But
yeah, so it's basically this woman's this girl's babysitting this child. I mean, he's not a little kid; he's an older child, and then all this starts going off, bombs exploding, aeroplanes, everything, and the son says, "Oh, there's a bunker in the garden." So they go into the bunker, and it turns out not a safe. Well, no, they're safe because the end of the world's happening upstairs.
Yeah.
So, but yes, and it's fantastic.
Sounds
read.
amazing, actually.
Yeah.
It sounds very interesting, but yeah, maybe not one.
But it's not a very small child, darling, and you know, and the kid is annoying. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, that's still writing, Kirsty. I think that some days that's all I do, and you get there in the
end. Thanks. Number 2. Okay, pick a number between 7.
Okay. Number. Sorted. Excellent. That's what I'm looking for. Ooh. I'm going to try and pick that up soon.
Saga. I had so many people recommend it. I've bought the first copy of the first volume of each to try them out. So, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Everybody I know loves them, so I'm hoping I do.
I do as well.
It goes to show you, you can be middle-aged and still sign new things. See what I mean?
Of course. Oh, thank you. That is very good news. I'm so happy. I didn't know what people would think of it. It's lovely that the feedback has just been really overwhelmingly positive. I'm sure it won't last. For now, I'm riding the positivity. I'm just going to pop us to sprints because a little person is talking upstairs, and I feel like at any moment, if I don't go up quickly, it's going to come down.
It'll go to chaos.
Oh, bless. I'm going to during this one.
Oh, okay, so cool.
I just want to say bye now.
Thank you so much for coming on. As always, it's
for having me.
It was lovely to see you, my angel.
And you. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone.
You too. Bye. Right, I'm going to go to sprints because I can hear a lot of persons. Oh dear. I'll catch you with you all soon. Wow, that half an hour went by fast, but admittedly I was upstairs for a good chunk of it. Oh, how did you get on, Sharron? Oh, I can't hear you. I don't know whether you've lost you. You're not muted, but I wonder if your mic's...
Hello.
Oh, sorry.
I'd turn my mic off, sorry, because I was having a coffee.
No, you're fine.
I'm about 50 pages left.
Oh, gosh. Do you think you're going to finish that tonight?
Oh, yes. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah, very good.
Would I like it, or is it very intense?
No, I think you'd enjoy it. There's no the people in it are teenagers or young adults. There's no small children. It's deeply subversive. So yeah, I think you would enjoy it. I couldn't even tell you what the pacing is, but I can't put it down. So I suppose that's great. You need to know.
Had you started it tonight, like before tonight, or have you just read it all?
I'd read the first chapter. I do read very fast.
It's a good sign. I mean, I think I read pretty fast, but I think you blow me out of the water, because when I listen on audio, I can just about listen on double speed, depending on the narrator's voice. But if you can listen on 3 times and it still doesn't quite...
No, I read really... I have an eidetic memory, which, you know, is as I remember everything I read, see or hear. And I'm autistic, so I tend to take in a lot of information quickly, just the way my brain works, really. So, but yeah, it's excellent. It's so good. It's really good. I must check out his other books, because if this is an indication...
yeah, I'm sure. Unless I'm getting him confused with Chuck Wendig, which is also... it's a Chuck, isn't it? I could have done, but I feel like I've seen the name floating around.
I've just had another book arrive as well.
Ooh. Oh, I've got that one.
Well, you know, it was £5, I think, on Amazon. It's £5 at the moment.
See, it's one that I kept thinking I'd pre-ordered. It didn't
Me
arrive.
too. Me too.
I don't know if the publication date got pushed for it, because I was expecting it earlier in the year, and I thought it was weird that it didn't come out at Halloween, and then it finally did arrive like fairly recently. So
I thought I pre-ordered it too, and then I saw it and I thought, oh, I've pre-ordered that, and then I checked and I hadn't. But it's £5 on Amazon at the moment. If anybody wants it,
good. I think it was £8 or £9 my pre-order, so you've done well there.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks good. Looks. I don't know if I'm going to. I've already. Oh well, I might flick it in this month.
I've got a really big pile that I want to read this month, and I just can see it not happening already, because I know that I've got so much editing to do. But I'm going to try and read a few. I've got a few proofs, some of which are already out, but I got them as proofs. I'm going to try and prioritize those, I think. Bunker Dogs.
It is. Yeah.
Coming up again.
It's great. I do love Gage as well. If you ever... Winter's Myths by Gage is an indie author. He's fantastic too. Where Kevin Bacon is a god. It's very funny.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I mean, I feel like we could have a whole discussion about that.
Yes, that's it.
Oh yeah, yes. Yeah, it's Most Haunted. I don't remember her on Blue Peter, but you know.
It was in the 80s though, and I think you're younger than I am, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I was an adult in the 80s. Well, a teenager to an adult. So she was on then. I think it was like the early 80s.
Yeah, see, 90s I was watching, maybe, late 80s, early 90s I was probably watching Blue Peter. Yeah. Probably early 90s, really.
She wasn't on it for long, but she's very funny. She used to be. I think she takes stuff a bit more seriously now.
Yeah, to be fair, I watched quite a bit of Most Haunted, and I quite like the dynamic that she kind of offered. Her
and her husband, don't they? It's their business now, isn't it? Yeah. That's what they do, is their business. And but yeah.
I'd quite like that to be my business. It's quite cool.
Me too.
Nice. Although, yeah, it's interesting when you start reading a book and it isn't what you expected. I don't know. Sometimes that can be good for the enjoyment and sometimes not.
Well done.
Good. Whoop. Getting the words out. Honestly, Kirsty, same. I've written my first couple of short stories. I mean, when I was younger, I probably wrote some short stories, but my first proper short stories this past couple of years, and it's so much easier to keep the plot in my mind. That's the biggest thing when I'm editing. I'm like, have I already made this edit? Has this character said this before? Like, I've just done a really quick read through of my project that I've just sent to my agent, and it was amazing how many things I was like, they've already said that, I need to delete it. And like it could be within the same page, like they'd make the same, like one of the characters is quite sarcastic, and she made the same sarcastic comment twice in.
It must have been a good sarcastic comment.
It wasn't bad, but it didn't need to.
He did repeat it.
She needed to be like snarky in a different way.
The first book I ever wrote was a 6-book series when I was 16.
Oh gosh!
And it was about a group of teenagers, 4 teenagers who were from another world, traveling the universe. Because I love sci-fi, horror, traveling the universe, solving the problems. And I've still got them somewhere. 6 whole novels, 70,000 pages each.
I wish I had my early stuff. I wrote, I can't remember what it's called now, but I wrote something about a family of little aliens, and I illustrated it myself.
Yeah, oh, I love stuff like that.
I wish I still had it, because they were really cute. I can remember they had like fluffy bodies at the top, and then these little long gangly legs and big eyes. And I really liked it. But
perhaps you should do a children's book, darling.
I do think I would like to. I've got a few spooky children's book ideas. Not so much picture books, but like the step above picture books, chapter books. Like, have you seen the Isadora Moon books by Harriet Muncaster?
Yes, yeah.
That kind of thing is the ideas I've had. But yeah, I've got a few ways that I want to do, an adult one that I want to do, and then that is next on the list, the children's one. It'd be nice if I can write it by the time Nathan's old enough to read it. I think by the time he's like 5 or 6.
Kids love it. I mean, kids love, creepy stuff. They really do. Even quite young children. I mean, I read really extreme horror when I was very young because there was no choice. But now there's so much choice. And some of it is excellent. And like Alex's books are fantastic, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? I'd have loved something like that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And my nephew loves them. He keeps reading them all the time. And so, that kind of stuff. I'll read like the Morrigan. Morrigan. Oh,
is it Nevermore? I always get them mixed up because there's Neverwhere as well, isn't there? But yeah, I definitely would like to write it. When I'll do it, I don't know. Right, the comments have gone quiet. My brain has officially hit that nope point where I can just feel it's like I've done thinking for today.
That's it. I'm done.
Yep. But thank you as always, Sharron. I'm glad we got that. I don't know what happened with the tech, but it seems to have calmed down for the past.
It's just sorted itself out, doesn't it?
Yeah. So thank you. We're going to catch up, aren't we, in a few weeks because you're on the Ever Exquisite thing.
I reread Picture of Dorian Gray the other morning. I love that book anyway. I just thought it's just perfect. I'm really looking forward to it. I love Laura's writing. She has the most beautiful way with words, and so I'm really looking forward to that. But I'll read it nearer the end of the month, so I've got it fresh for the.
Well, I read it last month because I couldn't resist. When I got the early copy came, I was like, I'm gonna have to read this. So I think I'll have to do like a flick through, just remind myself before the chat.
Yeah.
If anybody's interested, I'm doing sprints tomorrow night on my channel because I've now got full StreamYard, so I've got the power to do it whenever I want now.
Friday sprints.
Yeah, I'm just trying all different nights at the minute just to see what works well for people.
I'm so glad. I was beginning to think I'd have to start doing them myself. I miss them,
No, there's gonna be loads of them, especially when I'm busy editing. Less so probably when I've got less to do. Night everyone. And then I'm doing some Gothtober sprints at the weekend. So if anybody's joining Gothtober or just wants a fun sprint, there's sprints on Hannah Ladder M's channel on Saturday, I think it is, and then Olivia's Catastrophe. Thank you, Kev. My brain's going, Olivia reads a lot in. I'm like, no, that's a different YouTuber. Olivia's Catastrophe, 2 Olivias. Tired brain.
There's lots of Halloween readathons and things going on at the moment. It's really good fun.
It is. Last year I did really well. This year I've not engaged with as many just because I haven't properly planned my TBR. I haven't even done my TBR video yet. I'm a bit behind.
Life is lifing. You just live with it. Just get on with it.
And there's a lot of book stuff going on in the next couple of months, like events wise and stuff, which is great, but it just doesn't leave much headspace for anything else.
You've got Yelk next month, haven't you? Is it Yelk?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd love to. I'm trying to convince my husband to come. I'll be in a wheelchair, but I'd love to come because he wants to do the Comic Con and I want to do Yelk.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the other venues have been pretty accessible in terms of lift access and stuff because we had to use them for Nathan's pushchair. So I know that we generally could do that, but I don't know whether it's in the same venue. Definitely worth checking. So I'd love to see you there. And
well, I've checked with the venue, and the venue is accessible.
Brilliant.
And I can walk. I'm ambulatory, so I can walk. I just need to be able to sit a lot.
Yes.
So yeah, I'd love to, but I've got to try and convince him.
I feel like
because it's very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Not the tickets. The staying in London is the expensive part, isn't it?
It is. I mean, what we tend to do is like look for hotels where you can travel in, but obviously in terms of access and things, you need an accessible form of transport to get you in and out.
So it might not be this year, but I definitely want to get to one. But I'd love to see you all. There's so many of you going.
Yes, it's gonna be great. Yes, please, Paula. I will message you. Kev, just remind me Paula wants to come on tomorrow.
I'm around as well if you get short.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Well, I think at the moment it's just me, so it might be me, you, and Paula again.
That's fine. I'm always here.
Yeah, definitely, Kirsty. I've seen people with some amazing seats at Comic-Con. There's one that is, I don't know whether you need a stick for support, but there's one that is a stick and also folds out into a seat, which looks really great.
I'm quite wide. I'm quite wide. I don't think that would work for me.
All right. I mean, maybe something that you could sort of put under the chair and fold out.
I know, it'd be such fun, Paula, to see you all. It would be fantastic.
I hope so. But if not, I feel like at some point it will all align, won't it? We'll be able to make this work.
Align. I've got so many friends in Yorkshire. At some point I'll be up.
Well, and Devon's beautiful, so I will be down there at some point as well. So we'll make it work.
Yes, exactly. Yes, us, thighs to kill. That's what we've got.
I feel like on that note, I'm not going to beat that. Let's end on. We've had stilettos, we've had pillows, we've had all kinds of things in the discussion.
This has been lovely. I've had such an awful week at work. Some lovely news as well, but awful week at work. And this has just been a lovely way of just going into my weekend. It's been fun.
Thank you, as always, for coming on. And yeah, I said to Kevin, one of the points where we were laughing, I was like, I really needed that laugh. I think everything's felt quite intense for me recently, so it's nice to just sit and laugh and be silly for a little while.
Yeah, just be silly billies.
Yeah, so thank you everyone watching, and
thank you everyone.
Oh yeah, that's a point as well. Carer Pass, and you can also I'm sure they have some sort of accessibility arrangement as well that I know people had access bands on who needed to skip queues and things like that, so they are very, very good.
Ooh, spooky vibes and thick thighs. I thought I was the spooky onion. Have I changed now?
Sounds like the name of something called Spooky Vibes and Thick Thighs.
That's a great name for a book.
Like a book, a YouTube channel, something.
Yeah, I might change my YouTube channel to that.
Yeah, you could do. Go for it. Onion/thighs.
Have a lovely evening.
Yeah, night. You too. And we'll hopefully see you on the spins tomorrow, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Did that? No, it didn't end. Try again.
We're still live. Hello.
I clicked